So let's bring in now ABC News legal contributor and Law and Crime Network host Brian Buckmire for more on this. Brian, appreciate you being here. Always good to talk to you here. Amber Heard back on the stand today. A lot of people have been waiting a long time to get her side of this after we saw a lot of emotional testimony from Johnny Depp. What are your early takeaways from her testimony so far?
First, the allegations that she's put forward are horrendous in any way, shape, or form. The allegations of a cavity search, the pushing, the slapping, the punching. And so I think if you take it at face value, she's correct. She should win this argument. She is a victim of domestic abuse. But the cross-examination hasn't come up as yet. And we've already heard Johnny Depp's side. And if they have the ability to poke holes in her story, they've already kind of damage her reputation in some way, shape, or form. A lot of people watching this don't believe her to be true. I think the evaluation of this case is going to come up in her testimony after cross-examination.
There's so much made about the court of public opinion and something like this. I mean, how could it not be? It's obviously an enormous spectacle. Before we get to that, let's talk about just actual court, though, because this isn't, despite the conversation, it's not a contest to see who was the worst spouse. It's, did Johnny Depp abuse Amber Heard at any time, correct?
Yes and no. It's a little bit different that with defamation. And so with defamation, they have to show that these allegations are false. And so it gets a little bit even more difficult when you're a public figure because you have to show actual malice. And so what Amber Heard's attorneys have to do is properly orientate the question of what we're supposed to be asking, because right now, we're all about 85% right in terms of what this case is about. Is it who's the aggressor, who's the victim, who's doing what and whatnot. But Johnny Depp has to show that her allegations are false and that she had actual malice. And what I think what's going on here is Depp's attorneys are being very wise in the way they're presenting this case of this was chaos, this was confusion, who's in the right, who's the actual victim. And those questions, I think, are going to cause this jury to struggle with what they're supposed to decide unless Amber Heard's attorneys can really orientate, this is the standard, this is what we have to think about.
Then we see Amber Heard, this is her live on the stand right now. I mean, is it possible that Johnny Depp's attorneys simply just wanted to get this out in the open to get his side heard by the public, knowing really that it was an uphill climb to ever win this lawsuit?
I mean, just think about the concept of having to prove someone else's statement is false when it's a he said, she said, because a lot of domestic violence happens in these closed quarters. For Johnny Depp, he didn't really get an opportunity to put his side of the story out in the UK libel case. And so from what we've been hearing, no, the lawyers say he wants this trial, he wants to end it, but he's got a story out there. In the court of public opinion, as you already brought up, it seems like he's winning. And we know that next week the court is off. And so, unpopular theory, but I'm going to throw it out there. As a public defender, in the middle of a trial, I'm always negotiating. Hey, this doesn't look like it's going too well for you. Maybe we should get a lower plea offer, prosecutor, because my case looks really well. There's a whole week for Amber Heard and Johnny Depp's attorneys to talk this out. And maybe they say, hey, we both got our story out there. Maybe you don't want your client to be cross-examined by me after this break. I don't think it's going to happen, but there's definitely going to be that conversation. It's going to be interesting to see if it comes back.
Based on Amber Heard's testimony so far, how do you think she would hold up against cross-examination?
I think it'd be very difficult for her. Yeah. I think both in the way that she's prepped. When you look at a witness and there's so many objections to hearsay, there's so many objections as to how she's putting out this information and she's getting blocked left, right, and center, that shows me one of two things. Either the lawyer did not do a very good job of prepping her to kind of instruct her how to tell her story, or she's forgetful of that preparation. And if upon cross-examination, either of those two things happen, a very skilled lawyer can dismantle a witness. And I would be fearful if I was Amber Heard's attorneys right now as to how bad that cross-examination could be.
Well, this certainly has a ton of eyes on this all over the world. Brian, we appreciate your context breaking that down for us. Thanks so much for being here.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.